All right, hey there, sports fans. So we're back for the CBR California Bicycle Racing Series, race number 5, category 5. We just got the start right here. I got clipped in nice and good this week. This is Josh, and bringing you another exciting category 5 race. As the season changes, the sun's coming up a little bit earlier now, so coming out of turn 1 into the first straightaway into turn 2, we had some pretty good glare going on here. We had one guy attack right away and try to run away from the pack. But we all formed up really nice, kept it casual, weren't too excited or stressed out about it. It's early and it's a Cat 5 race, so you're not really going to get away. There seemed to be some decent cohesion. Nobody was really too stressed out. There's my buddy Juan Villarreal right to my right in front of me. I had a lot of riders come up to me before the race and even at the start of the race and say hello and ask how I was doing and if I was feeling better and all that other stuff. So that really meant a lot to me, the camaraderie that these riders show for one another. And it goes from the bottom all the way to the top. I have a lot of respect for this sport and all the other riders out there. They truly do care about one another, and the last thing anybody wants to do is crash somebody. And so it was really nice to get a handful of riders coming up to me, give me a pat on the back, words of encouragement, and having a good laugh. So yeah, that really meant a lot to me. I really tried to stick with Juan as much as I could. Also, the Major Motion guys, they're wearing the black fade to red top part of their kit. I'm going to cough a bit during this video. I do apologize. I've been dealing with the head cold. It definitely had an effect to a certain extent on today's race, but I managed to give it my all, and really hang tough. Now you can see a decent group starting to get away off the front, and that actually did kind of concern me a little bit. So I pull up here, pull out, and try to bridge the gap because I don't want that group to get away. That's a sizable group up there, and that does have the potential to get away. If they work together, this group right here, what do we got? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 riders. It's a little bit big, but that's a sizable group. If they were to line up, they could work together and nobody would ever see them again. So I make it 10 and just pull in here, and we end up getting pulled back. This guy off the right in the blue top, he made several attacks off the front. He had some pretty good legs for us today. He definitely tried to get the group to push the pace. He definitely wanted everybody to rotate. He wasn't pushy or verbal too much like that, but his body language really trying to get the group to work together and push. But, bunch of Cat 5ers. There we go. We got another attack coming off the left side. Now, it's still too early, though. We're only 4.5 minutes into the race. Oh, man, you couldn't ask for any better weather to start today. It was a little chilly before the race start, but once you get that motor churning, it's all it's all hot from there. So, you know, not really a lick of wind, wasn't too many clouds, nice, bright and sunny, just the perfect temperature for bike racing, in my opinion. So you'll see I'm hooked up to this Major Motion rider. You know, he did a pretty good job staying up at the front most of the race, and these boys have a pretty good consistent wheel. They hold their line really well. They have a consistent pace, and you know, they're a pleasure to race against. I've grown to really like seeing their kits out there on the road. You know, I know if I'm around them, I'm going to be safe. It's going to be a good competitive ride, and we're going to have a lot of fun. I have noticed quite a few of their riders moving up in the categories. There seems to be a lot less in the Cat 5 race as the season's gone on. You'll see that lime green bike in front of this white and bronze kit. He's got a blue top, black shorts, neon green bike. We'll have to keep a lookout for him a little bit later. And also that rider to his left right there in the red top and black shorts. You know, we had to keep an eye on these two throughout the race. Excuse me. You know, we had a pretty good pace throughout this race, but I don't know, it felt a little more casual this time. Maybe it's just because I'm peaking at just the right point, or whatever it is, but it was really casual. There's no real stress. You know, there was groups trying to get away, but nobody was really panicking. There does come a point later on where it does get a little more tense. Oh, see, there's neon bike. You know, he got a little loose and squirrely right there. Juan went up and had a couple words with him. And, you know, these Major Motion rider guys, they do really good. And so 1-9, I let him take 2-0. I was like, take your teammate's wheel right there. You can have it. I'm not going to battle you on your teammate's wheel. Just let me get yours. So he pulled up, let me pull in behind him. I made room behind him so I could take his wheel. I wanted to own their wheel as much as possible. If I couldn't own theirs, I wanted to own Juan's. Whoever I was around, I wanted their wheel. You know, we got a pretty good train going right here. Gaps probably could have been a little bit closer. Things could always be a little bit tighter, but we're Cat 5. So, what do you expect? But, you know, we had a pretty good train, like I was saying. Everything was pretty cooperative, pretty cohesive. And, you know, it was a nice Sunday morning ride. Up to this point, you know, we're 9 minutes in now. My focus today was really to do as little work as possible. You know, that was my strategy going in, even before I got sick. After the last race, you know, I realized I'm not a go up to the front and do all the work kind of guy. Maybe, you know, if I want a little bit of glory, if I'm a glory hound, I'll go up there and get some glory. But, and I'm a sprinter, and so, you know, I've got a very limited matchbook. Especially, you know, I'm also an amateur Cat 5 racer, so, you know, my matchbook is short and sweet. But you know, what I was trying to do the last race, you know, it's experimenting. This season's all about experimenting for me, trying to figure out where I lie in the bag of tricks. So my goal this race was to stay tucked in, stay behind people, stay up at the front, just do as little work as possible. So I want to go back. The very first turn, at the start, when we made the turn 3 coming out of the gutter where we just came out of right there, I hit the dip in that gutter seated, and it dropped my seat out of position. So the entire race, minus 2 turns, my seat was low. I could definitely feel the difference, and you know, I tried to put it out of my head and not focus in on it. Just tried to stay focused on the game plan, stay out of the wind.
Charging up the front there. That car is fine.
You know, it's getting to the point in the race where people want to figure out who's got what. One of the things people did do, you know, like that rider pulls off to the right. People wanted to follow him and stay on his wheel. You know, people had to be reminded several times, don't follow him, don't echelon. Let him pull off, go around him. So, you know, you can see that I'm getting pretty close up to the front. This major motion guy is just towing me. I'm having the time of my life. I'm not really doing a lot of work. No wind to speak of. What there is, we're in the tailwind right now. But it was so minuscule. So this is the turn I was talking about. First lap, I come into this dip right here and slam my seat. So the entire time, you know, I did focus in on that. Every time I came around the turn, I wanted to make sure that I attacked it properly. See, there you go. They tried to follow the rider in the white top. The blue tried to follow him, and the Chico's rider tried to follow him and kind of tried to echelon. And there goes Juan again. He's pushing. You know, he did some resting off the back. Now he's going to go up to the front and do a little bit more work, try and pick up the pace. So it's at this point, you know, we're 13 and a half minutes into the race. Now it's time to start for me to start thinking about my tactics. Everybody seems to be doing really good. You know, I don't really give a flying flip if, you know, they're rotating up front, or, you know, one person's doing the work. As long as I don't have to do the work, I want to stay right where I am and let everybody else do the work. Nobody had a word to say to me, so, you know, I sat on the wheels and stayed in line. But, you know, you do want to make sure that you're in a specific region of wheel, because as things ramp up from here on out, we're reaching the see, there we go, we're getting a little squirrely. So we're starting to reach the halfway point. We got people constantly trying to attack and go off the front. That didn't look so bad from the rider in green right there, but he got a word spoke to him for the way he drank off his bottle to the rider on his left. Guess he made the rider on his left a little uncomfortable with his body movements. And Major Motion said something to him as well. So yeah, back to, where do I want to sit in the line? I don't want to be too far up front doing more of the work, but I don't want to be too far back either. If you're too far back, you're gonna have to put in an exponential amount of work just to sprint to the finish. And as things tense up, we're starting to reach the point where riders are becoming fatigued, and you don't want to lose the wheel in front of you here. So you got to be really cognizant of all that. One thing that I really worked on in this race was holding the wheel in front of me. I wanted to stay close as possible, that I was comfortable with. I could have done a better job of that, but that comes with time and experience. But the one thing I did do is I held the wheel and didn't let anybody take it from me. If somebody tried to squeeze me off the wheel, I squeezed them back off. I left a lot of people hanging out there in the wind today. And you want the wheel, you're going to have to take it from me. You're going to have to make the room. You can do it respectfully. I didn't throw any elbows. I didn't yell at anybody or anything like that. But, excuse me, I held the wheel. And I wasn't going to let it go. When I'd see somebody trying to pull in, I just pick up the pace a little bit, like right there. I had a guy on my left try to grab 2-0's wheel, Major Motion, and I wasn't having it. Several times somebody tried to grab Motion's wheel, and I just wasn't about to let that happen. But right here, I was like, all right, go for it, bro. You're too far. We're too close to the front. I don't want to go up there. You're spreading out, attacking each other. Got another rider off the front right now. There were a couple times where people did get anxious when somebody would attack, but just reminded each other to relax. So yeah, I just tried to take my own advice there. Relax, hold the wheels of the rider in front of me, stay in line, stay out of the wind, and run my race. Do as little work out there as possible. People are starting to spread out though. The train is becoming too wide, and everybody's jockeying, trying to get their spot now. We're coming up 2/3 of the way through the race, and you got groups trying to get off the front, make people work now. Got a rider way up there. He attacked. At one point, we had a rider that was 10 seconds up. A lot of guys right here tried to freewheel, and I was like, oh, this would be a good spot, nice and easy. You don't have to put in too much work, maybe 125 watts. I'll move up a few positions. So that's what I did. They freewheel, I just nice and easy pedal through. Put myself in a much better position. But like I said before, I didn't want to be too far up. But you can see that young man just on the left side of the picture, looking to his left. He's a 14-year-old young man. You can see him right there in the solo in the picture now. He's a 14-year-old young man. The referees at the start of the race came up and they were chiding him a little bit about his race number being upside down. And the other referee came over and was like, that's not even the worst of it. He's got earbuds in. And he was like, oh yeah, I was wearing the earbuds when I was warming up. And we all kind of had a chuckle around him, and you know, reminded him that that wasn't a wise decision to be wearing earbuds while you're warming up on a racetrack. You know, save that for your training. And you know, he's 14 years old. Get over it. You know, he'll learn. I don't recall seeing him before, so this was probably one of his first races, or I don't know. But you know, how's he supposed to know unless he's told? And we told him, but didn't scold him or anything like that. It was, had a laughable moment, teachable moment. But I was really impressed with him. He did a pretty good job. He, you know, he's having conversations with people here. There he's looking over and he's having a conversation with another guy right there, talking. I don't know what they're talking about, but you know, you're aware enough to ride up next to somebody and have a conversation. Cool on you, bro. And if I'm not mistaken, he finished second or third in this race. So hats off to that young man. You know, he really ran a mature race. This young man right in front of me off my right, he ran a really good, clean race. He didn't get squirrely. He held his line. He was polite. He was respectful. And he's riding a Trek, so extra points there for him. We gotta love Trek. And I get squeezed into the middle with rider 518 right here. And I don't know, just watching car racing all my life, being stuck in the middle is not where you want to be. And you can see we're getting plugged on both sides, and I am just not comfortable being squeezed in the middle like that. I found my major motion rider right here, 520. So I hop back up on his wheel, and the wind is coming left to right here. Oh, okay. Amendment. This is the one moment where the young man made me a little bit nervous, but he quickly oriented himself, made a very mature move, taking the wheel off of 520. Juan did have a little word for him there to, you know, slow his roll a little bit. But I wanted to go with major motion right there, but I didn't want to go all the way to the outside like that. And so I just held my own line, and here's my glory hound moment. I wanted a little bit of glory for myself. Ah, yes. Who doesn't like hearing their name announced over the speakers? If you listen closely, you could have heard my name. With my little attack right there, you know, I looked back just to make sure I had riders on me. They were close. They were close enough to me. I didn't want to just go off the front. I wanted to pull at the front of the line, give my token pull. I flicked my elbow a couple times, had to look over my shoulder, and I finally gave a twirl of the hand, and there we go. We got a couple riders. Juan came by and gave me a little attaboy for taking my pull up at the front, making a little attack. Picked up the pace for everybody a little bit. We're just under 3 laps to go, and I fell into Juan's line. As I said, I really wanted to hold his wheel as much as possible, which whenever he was around me, I did. But things are starting to heat up now. I'm too close to the front, so I want to pull back a little bit, but I'm also starting to run out of gas, and holding the wheel is starting to become a little bit of a difficulty. With this cold, I really didn't have all the lung capacity. Asthma is starting to kick in pretty hard at this point. But I'm a fighter. I'm going to battle. If you saw my crash in the last race, you know I'll get back up and keep fighting. So, try to get back in the line, hold the wheel, stay out of the wind as much as possible. It's a bit of an uphill right here to the finish. They moved the finish. It used to be So this is the start finish right here. If we go through this turn, this was turn 4 the last time we were here at Dominguez Hills, and just out of the turn was the start finish line. So right here is the start finish line. The previous time. We got 2 laps to go. The pace is really starting to pick up. I'm having a lot of difficulty holding the wheel. The other people recognize that, so they're moving up on me. I can't blame them. I tried to stay with Sketchy Boy here and the neon green bike. He learned his lesson. He started to hold a better bike. And hey, a wheel in front of you is a wheel in front of you. I don't care who you are. And so this is our tailwind coming down into turn 3. We're all together now. There's nobody off the front. It's one big happy family. Definitely notice from here that the pace is starting to pick up. We got another guy trying to make an attack. And oh, that guy, that little one that just came up on the right, that smaller rider, he's a 15-year-old, and I gotta say, I've been really impressed watching him this series, and everything that he's accomplished. I believe he got second in the last race. That was pretty cool to watch. He's made leaps and bounds of improvements. That kid is gonna go places. Same with the other young man. They continue working the way they're working. They have a bright future in front of them, as long as they keep a good head on their shoulders. And here we're coming up the uphill, and I'm out of the saddle. I'm fighting. I'm trying to get back onto the wheels in front of me, because I know if I get dropped here, it's all over. I'm gonna get smoked. So here we are. 1 lap to go. I'm out of the saddle. I'm kicking. I'm fighting. I'm screaming at myself internally, trying to get back on the wheels. And I'm hanging on by a thread at this point. I am gulping air. I got nothing left in the tank. Trying to reserve what little bit I do have left in me for the finish line. If I could stay with this group, I might be able to nip a couple of them. I got some watts left in this legs. My legs felt great. I just couldn't breathe. Couldn't get the air. So there's Juan. I'm going to try and hook up to his wheel again. I got my buddy Juan in front of me. I'm going to hold on to him. He's a little bit broader than I am, so he cuts a pretty good wind. Takes a good line. I really like racing with Juan. He's a good guy. Man, he's got a kick too. And he puts down the hammer. He goes. So I'm out of the saddle right here. I'm giving everything I've got. I just want to hold this wheel. I can't get dropped. I cannot get dropped. I look back. I'm at the back. There's nobody left behind me. Everybody's around me. There's one guy, I think, to my left. But I'm waiting for Juan to hit. As soon as Juan picks up out of the saddle, I'm going. And there he goes, so I'm going with him. I've got everything left in me. I'm laying it all out on the line right here. Kick, 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 kick. I hit 750 watts right here, and I nipped one more at the line.
Whoa!
Wow. What a great race. Super happy with my effort. And thank you guys for watching. This has been another awesome race. If you like the content, give me a like and a subscribe. Please be sure to check out my Instagram page. I'm just Joshin' you, duh. And follow me on Instagram. You can find me on Strava. You can find me on Facebook.
Nice work, bud.
Give me a like and a subscribe. And if you're in this video and want a shout out, give me a holler and I'll give you a shout out on Instagram. And thanks guys very much. Another great race. That's a lot of fun. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks CBR California Bicycle Racing Series for putting on another amazing event.